Okay. Hey, this is Phil Lilley, Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on Lake Taneycomo. Going to do one cast today. Today's Sunday the 9th of March. The time changed today. It's a little after 6 o'clock right now. No generation. If I get my toothpick in my float, I'm going to throw a cream color megaworm. And I am just above the long dock, which is just above Short Creek. 2-pound line, 4 foot deep. Gotta get it wet so it'll sink. I'll go 4 to start. Oh, that was an awful cast. I've got some midges that are hatching. I see. That's a little bit too far. Okay. Get set up here. So I came up. There's some chop down by the resort, and then there's some chop here. I looked up lake and there wasn't any chop up there, so this is where I stopped. Kind of want to fish at 2 or 3 places today, but this chop right here is perfect. I've been told several people today they can go out and find some choppy water. That's where they want to fish. For the most part, it's been pretty still today, bright sunshine, so fishing's been pretty tough for most people. The megaworm, it was kind of, I think I'd do better with a 50th ounce jig, which I'll probably switch to that if this doesn't do any good. Nothing on the first cast. I want to keep my rod tip down. I don't want it. Ooh, that looked like a bite. I don't want it. I don't want the wind blowing my line around, so I keep my rod tip right on the water so it won't blow at all. I don't want to throw out too far because I want to be able to see that float move if it, even if it vibrates a little bit. And I want to move it every once in a while just to make sure that slack is pretty tight between the rod tip and the float. I don't want a lot of slack. I go set the hook. I want to make sure that line's pretty tight. I mean, the fish are being real picky right now. So using 2-pound line, I think, really helps your chances of getting bit versus 4, especially in these bright sunny days. So even if you can tie on 2 or 3 feet of 2-pound onto your 4-pound line, it really helps your chances of getting bit. That's if you're using bait or anything. Okay, they're not, either they're not biting anything or they're not biting a megaworm, so I'm going to change. I'm going to put on sculpin jig with an orange head. There's that megaworm I was using. This is the 50th ounce that we just came out with not too long ago. We don't have all the colors yet in the shop, but we do have this one for sure. It's a sculpin with an orange head, and the orange head is, I think it's called a rally orange. It's not the same orange that we have on a lot of our other jigs. It's almost a candy orange. Okay. This is something that Blake came up with. I'm gonna leave it at that depth. I might go a little deeper here in a minute. See what happens. I'm pretty sure that was a bite. Because there's no current, so I'm not drifting at all. I'm working it, leaving it out for 2, maybe 3 minutes, and then I'll throw it back out in a different place. Make it just a little deeper. About a foot. About 6 foot now. I do like to cover a little ground too when I'm fishing a jig and float. Throwing it out about 25 feet or so. That's about as far as I want to throw. Well, last cast. And then we're moving. Oh, I think I just had a bump. Mm-hmm. Do it again. He just nosed it. Hmm. Okay. Sometimes they don't like it moving. So I'm not going to twitch it. I'm just going to leave it set, and then I'm going to watch for the, I mean, when the when that float vibrates, of course, you're going to have some rings. Like you'll have a, oh, well, he actually nailed it that time. And that's what I mean by when they come up, swim up and nose it, just a little bit of disturbance on the float. I mean, even if they're, well, you want to set the hook regardless. You don't wait till you get a bigger bite. And I just had him for a second. Okay. Oh. The float slid down a little bit. Okay. I think I might have figured something out here. I had hold of him for just a second. Oh, I just had a bite. I got him that time. I looked down for a second, looked back up, and I saw the rings around the float. Pretty fish. He's been in the lake for a little bit. Real pretty fins. All right. So they don't want it moving. And they're not hitting it real hard, so you really got to watch. Oh. Boy, that's not much of movement at all. Okay. I lost my chop. There's still a little movement to the water, but it's mainly from that boat going by. It's still moving my jig a little bit. There's chop out in front of me. He'll come back. I'm out in front of the long dock now. I want to get over here to the chop. It looks like it's kind of diminishing even in front of me, so as the evening progresses, the wind does die down, so there wasn't much wind to begin with, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna, I'll probably go on up a little later, but yeah, even up in front of me, the wind's dying down. Oh, here comes the wind again. That's a little too far. Oh, fish just came up, tried to eat my float. Nesting. You notice how I cast, there's a little trick. I think Bruce Johnson taught me that trick a long time ago. There's not a lot of weight to this. Small float, small jig. So you get a little bit of a slingshot effect if you set the jig actually in the water behind you. And then when you cast, you just kind of use it as a slingshot to shoot it out there. Boy, they're just barely touching it. I need to move. I need to move down in that shop or go up. I'm almost down. Shore Creek's in front of me now. Okay. We are moving. Okay. Not much of a chop, but it's better than I had. And like I said, it's just gonna get slower and slower. Saw a few fish midging on the way down here. Right out in front of me, actually. I feel that wind picking up, so that's good. Down just a little bit. I think one fault I have, you know, they're running water. I can see it now. I'm drifting pretty fast. Just noticed that. One fault I have, I think, is I stay with one thing that's not working great way too long. I don't change enough. And I think what I want to do right now is go over and fish this behind these trees. Yeah, I just looked over and saw, well, up there, water running through those trees, and then right here, I can see the wake that the water's making going through these. Yeah, so they're running water. That might be why I'm not catching fish. I don't know. I think I would have definitely done something different if I'd known they were starting to run water. This area right here below the trees kind of is a little eddy when they start running water. Water slower. Usually holds fish. All fell. You caught me not looking again. Hey, Jack, lay down. Gosh, finally. I shouldn't complain. Came off. I'm going to try to catch one more fish. Okay guys, one more cast. Shorten it up a little bit too. Lay down. Lay down. Well, I'm going to try one more time. I'm just going to throw it closer to the bank. Well, not as good as I thought I'd do. Yeah, yeah. Fishing's been tough. I had pretty good conditions for a while. So, but it's fun. You can't beat the weather, that's for sure. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.